Hi everybody, and welcome to Caritech's Introduction to HTML5 Web Programming Language Learning from Home session, brought to you by TechDome Penang. Okay, so I'm Sam, and I am going to be walking you through the basics of web programming. Alright, and the very basic web programming language is HTML5. Okay, and we'll also be touching on some CSS because the two are kind of intertwined. So let's hop to it, shall we? Okay. So HTML5, what is it? But first, who are we? Okay, and then what is HTML? How do you use it? And what is CSS? Okay. So who are we? We are a local software house in Penang. And what is web programming? So, programming is a language. It is a language that we use to talk to the computers. Okay, so web programming has an additional function of talking to the servers. Okay, so what is a server? I'm sure you've heard of servers, cloud hosting, databases. Okay, so servers are basically other computers. Okay, they are other people's computers somewhere out there in the world, and they are linked. They're all interlinked. Okay, and when they are linked, they form a cloud. There you go. That's basically it in a nutshell, in a simplified version. Okay, so of course there is your computer and your device. Okay, and the internet is what connects them all. Okay, so that's what's different between regular programming and web programming. So there are a variety of languages. These are just a few. But HTML is one of the core ones. Now, why do I say that? Because, as you'll see, these are the list of languages used for all these websites. I'm sure you've heard of some of them. You know, maybe you've heard of Yahoo. Maybe Alta Vista. No, okay. Yeah, so I'm sure you've heard of Google, #1 site out there. Okay, now you may notice that HTML is nowhere in this list. Why? That's because it is in all of them. That's right, they all use HTML. Because HTML is the language that tells your computer what to show you. Okay, so all this text, all these colors, whatever you're seeing displayed on your screen right now is thanks to HTML. Okay. Well, what? Voldemort. Okay. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about front end and back end. So what are front end and back end languages? Okay. Front end is what you see. So the public, what the public sees. All right. So HTML is one of the main ones. Okay. But there is CSS, there's JavaScript. So these are the different languages that control what you see. Okay, the colors, the text, the links, the effects. Okay, and on the back end we have other ones like PHP, .NET. So these are the ones that talk to the servers. They do the things that you don't see. They send information and packets and make sure everything works. Okay. So anyway, on to HTML. So what is HTML? What does HTML stand for? It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, you don't really memorize that, but just so you know. And a hint, it may come in useful if you have that worksheet in front of you. Okay, so yes, so as I mentioned, it is the main language that creates the web pages and all the information that is displayed. Okay, and it uses tags like these. You see these brackets. Okay, so let's talk about the founder of HTML and also the father of the World Wide Web, WWW, in case you're wondering what that stands for. Okay, so this nice looking gentleman is Tim Berners-Lee. Okay, and he was working at CERN. Okay, it's a research facility, quite a popular one, and it is based in Switzerland. Okay, so in 1989, Berners-Lee proposed that the internet needed a language. It needed a system. Okay, so there you go. that was HTML. So in 1991, HTML1 was born, and then 3 years later, HTML2, and then number 3 got lost somewhere, and then they came out with number 4. They just skipped straight to 4. Okay, and then a couple of years later, they came out with HTML5. So that's what we have today. It's a good one, and it seems pretty good so far. So I think we're sticking with it. Okay, so what is HTML used for? It is, as I mentioned, used for developing all this: web pages, websites, links, things we see. Okay, everything you see and everything that you connect back and forth is a HTML. Alright, so HTML works quite nicely with some of the other languages like CSS. Okay, and this is JavaScript. Okay, so that's CSS, where CSS comes in. I'll touch a little bit on CSS now because the code is embedded in HTML. Right? It works hand in hand, and it stands for cascading style sheets. So what is CSS used for? It is used to create consistency across a website. Okay, it is basically telling the website that it should look the same. Everything should be in this format. It's like a template, right? It's like instead of having a blank canvas, you have a picture of yourself printed onto the canvas, so that every time you start a new canvas, you can gaze upon your own beautiful face, and that is CSS. Okay, so basically CSS works well with HTML. It works hand in hand, but it is a level up. It controls the entire website. It tells the website what each section or each page should look like. Okay, so here you go. This is what CSS does. So it creates the look. So simply by changing the CSS, I can switch an entire look and feel of the website. Okay, so it will dictate what font, what colors, everything. Okay, that's the power of CSS. Okay, and anyway, enough about all this. Let's get to coding, shall we? Right, so like I mentioned, all the popular websites like Facebook. You might have heard of Facebook, maybe you have an account, so that uses HTML. Okay? And HTML uses things like tags, like of course the HTML tag, the head, the body, and the div, which stands for division. Okay, so let's get to coding. Alright, so first I will walk you through how to use this screen. So if you have the worksheet in front of you, go to number 5, question number 5, the 5th, and you will see that there is a link there. Click on that link and it will take you to this page. Okay, so what is this page? This page is a sandbox. Okay, it is a place for you to play with your code. Okay, it simulates a real website. So on the left, you have your code, your syntax, your secret language that you talk to the computer with. Okay, so as you can see, it's got all these funky symbols and English words, but mostly symbols. And on the right, we have what the public will see. Okay, so this is what the code translates to. Okay, you think of it like a translator. So once you have your code ready, you just hit this button, this run button. Okay, so yeah, so that's pretty much what tags are for. And as you notice, there are tags like this and there are tags like this with this symbol. So this is an open tag and this is a close tag. So what is the importance of opening and closing? It tells the computer when you want to end something. Okay, so every command, almost every command, has an opening and a closing. See, head, close head, title, close title, P, close P. Okay. Okay, so let's get to the coding. Oh wait, I'm supposed to keep showing this. Sorry. Okay, so another thing that the new age has brought us is smarter computers. So the computer will now tell you if your code has an error in it with this red stuff. Here, let me show you. So say I open a paragraph. Hello, Okay, and I forget to close it. Okay, you saw what happened there? This goes red. It's like, hello, hello, something's going on. Okay, so I gotta close it. There, see, it's happy now. Okay, so what I've done is I've created a new paragraph. I used the P tag. Okay, so all you have to do is type. Boop. Okay, so I used another tag called the break tag. So this one is one of those tags that does not require a closing tag, just one. Okay, as you can see what happens if I don't use any tags and I just keep typing and typing and typing. Right? So you see I formatted it nicely. It should appear like that, right? No, it doesn't. Why? Because I didn't put the break in there. See? I'm gonna put a break in there. Run. Ta-da! Okay, so here's a little exercise. Hop into the document. As I mentioned, it should come with the HTML and a head and a body. Okay, so try not to. You don't need to mess with those. Just go ahead and type stuff in. Make things appear. Make things appear. You have the power. Okay, now you see it appeared in the next line because the computer does not recognize enter. Okay, so because it's code, so you have to tell it. You have to tell it to break. Okay, see, stop being red. There you go. See, and if I wanted it to be its own little island, I would put it between a paragraph tag, like so. See, so it's on its own. It's got some spacing there. Okay, there you go. So let's move on. Remember to look out for those errors. Okay, here are some more structure tags because coding is all about structure. Because computers like structure, they follow orders very well. So you have to give them the right orders. Okay, so remember open close, open close. You don't need that for the break. Okay, so go ahead and play around with the headers and the body text. Okay. Type whatever you want. Do it like this. Say, hello Caritech. Put your name in there and wherever you're from. Okay, go ahead and do your thing. Okay, go ahead and run it. Okay. Alright, so let's move on to some other common tags, like this one. Okay, so what are these? Okay, so here we have what appears to be a list. Okay, so how do you create a list? So I've already cheated. I've already got a couple lines in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another item. You see it's red. I don't like it. Okay, so as you saw just now, type in this item. Okay, so what happens if I want to convert this into one that is not a number? I don't think these need numbers. I just want them to be basic lists. So I will use the UL command. See, the highlights in red to tell me it does not match, does not compute. Okay, so I'll change it to a UL. So what is a UL? A UL is an unordered list. Okay, so if I hit run, see what happens? It becomes little buttons. That's what UL is. Okay, so unordered list, ordered list. Alright, so you have 1, 2, 3, and you can keep adding more. Just use the line. Remember to close these brackets. Okay. Bam! See? There you go. You can add all you like. Alright. That's a fun little one. Yeah, so go ahead and make some lists. Okay. Alright. Create a nice long list. Give that a shot. Okay. Alright, next we'll move on to colors. Everyone likes colors because, you know, black and white is boring. So let's make some colors. Okay, but first I must mention this little beauty. So in this question you will see a link to this page. So the link is for this HTML color chart, okay? Because the computer doesn't know really what red and green and blue is, although CSS does, but HTML doesn't. So you have to give it the right code, okay? So you see what happens here when I click on the colors? You see this part changes. So the color codes are dictated by a hashtag and 6 characters. Okay, give me numbers, give me letters. Okay, and all you have to do is you copy this. Okay, you go back to that page. See this? You see color? Just put it there. Bam. Okay, so this is where CSS comes in. You see these brackets? These are CSS brackets. Okay, CSS doesn't like the pointy ones. It goes for these bow brackets. I think that's what they call them. Okay. Now CSS is a bit smarter. So what this is doing is it's telling the website that all body text should be this color. Okay, and so that means anything between the body. But if it's a header one, then it is this color instead. Okay, so if I wanted to change the color, I would have to put in the color code, or I could try an English word, red. Oh, see, there you go. So CSS is a little bit smarter in that it recognizes some basic colors. Okay, so let's try pink. Hey, there you go. Okay, but if you don't like this shade of pink and you want a specific pink, then you gotta go to your color chart. Okay, I want this pink. Okay, pop it in. Ta-da! Okay, and then this text you can change as you see fit. It's pink now. Okay, see, there you go. You can change the colors at will. Green. No, that's kind of a dark green. Okay, anyway, like I said, there you go. That's how you change the colors. Okay, so go ahead, type some text, get the color code you want from the chart, pop it in. Okay, so there should be a link, this link. Okay, or you can just Google HTML color chart. Alright, so once you're done with the exercise, we'll move on. Alright, so now we're going to look at inserting images into your website. So, how do you do that? Okay, so use this command called the image search, IMGSRC. Okay, so all you have to do is get the link for the image that you want and put it in between these semicolons, these parentheses. Okay, so how do you get the link? Let's put this image into this website. Okay, so I right click on the image and I copy image address. Okay, you go back and you paste it in here like this. Okay, so you paste it in between these parentheses. Okay, and then for the alt text, it's just something that you would use to describe the image. So that's HTML5. Okay, and if you wanted to, you can set the width and height of the image, like so. Okay, these are in pixels. But if I didn't want to set it, let's just try it anyway. Just give it a go. See, there you go. So the image looks a bit small, so I'm gonna let it run free. Okay, so you take that out, run it again. There you go. See, size image. Okay, easy enough. So this one, like the break tag, does not require a closing tag. Okay, just go image search. Okay, and just pop whatever you like between these parentheses. Okay, so you need the image URL. Okay, so to get the image URL, like I mentioned, you just need to go and right click on the image like so. Okay, copy image address, or you can get from the browser. Okay, Alright, so now that you know how to put in images, what happens if you want to set the image into the background, like so? Alright, so let's go pop it into the background. Alright, so what you would do here is you would use this code, background-image. Right? So you can put it in a few places, but if I put it here in the division, alright, see, this is where you put the image. So we're using the same image as we did just now. Just put it between these brackets. See that? Okay? And then for every line that I type, it will draw the background. Okay, let's give it a shot. Back. See that? Okay, so what happens if you want the background image to just apply to the entire page? Okay, then you have to apply this background image command somewhere else, not in the division, but in the body. Okay, so this is the image you saw just now. Say I want to change it to this one. Okay, so as you saw, I just changed the URL, hit run, ta-da! Okay, so it doesn't care. It doesn't care about the text. It just puts the whole image in there. Okay, dokie, give that a shot. Okay, this is what it should look like. Alright, next we are going to be creating some tables. Okay, so to make some tables, you need the table command. Okay, so I'm just gonna take out this style. Oopsie, it's red. It's red. Something's wrong. Error. Okay, so it closes. No more red. Okay, that means it's good. See what happens if I run this. See what happened there? So this is the basic table tag, but if I put in the style, alright, then it changes the display of the table. Okay, but let's keep it simple. Let's just keep it with the table. Okay, so how do you set the items inside the table? Okay, you use these. Okay, tr, th. Okay, so you can set them. These are the rows. Okay. All right. So to change the detail, you just change it. First and like so. Boop. Here you go. Okay. If I wanted to add another line, just go. Let's see if this works. Do you think it's gonna work? Ah, it does. See, but it's kind of by itself there. Okay, so let's go and match up. Okay, so what happens? What happens if we want to change a cell? Okay, so these are the different tags that define the sections of the table. Okay, so this is a row, this is a header, and this is a cell, individual cell. Okay, so what happens if we want to change the color of the rainbow? The color of the table. Okay, so you remember that background color command that we were using just now? Sorry, that was background image. Now we can use background color. Okay, so after the table tag, you put in style equals background color, and you put in your color. Okay, so remember this color picker. Okay, so you choose the color that you want. Let's go for blue this time. Okay, copy it. Oops. And you plug it in here. Run. Ta-da! Okay. Okay, so this is a very useful CSS. Okay, it's a bit hard to read now. Let's try. Pink. Hey, see, it works. Okay, so that is the power of CSS. Okay, and again, if you like, you can add some headers. Name. Okay, see, adds a header, and then of course I've got to add some corresponding cells. Oops. Okay, see, there you go. Now you can create your own tables. Alrighty. Okay, and I think that is almost all of it for us. Okay, so now that you've learned all those tags, you can go ahead and create your very own website. Okay, see? Go ahead and throw in whatever background you want, create a list, and make your own tables, type whatever you like. Okay, so go ahead and have fun with it. Okay, so that's me signing out. Thanks for tuning in to this Caritech Learning from Home session, and stay tuned for more. Sam out.
Oh yeah.